There's a truth you need to hold on to right now, a truth so powerful it can shift your life in a way you never imagined. The truth is this: God is already restoring everything you thought was lost, every moment you regret, every opportunity you feel slipped away, every season you believe was wasted. None of it is gone. Nothing is lost in God's plan. In the divine realm, time doesn't function like it does here. What you call wasted years are actually seeds planted for your becoming. We often think of time as a straight line, past behind us, future ahead, but in the spiritual world, all of it, past, present, and future, is part of one divine moment, one eternal now. And in that now, God has already begun healing your wounds, realigning your path, and making everything beautiful in His perfect timing. You are not waiting on restoration. Restoration is already happening right now. This very second, something is shifting in your life. Imagine this: you're standing in the reality of your future. The pain is gone. The doors you thought had closed forever are swinging open. What once felt like a dream too big to come true is unfolding before your eyes. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt. You are not late. You are right on time. God is putting the pieces of your life back together, not how they were, but how they were always meant to be. Every misstep, every setback was part of the redirection to this sacred point. You may look at your past and see failure, but from God's perspective, it's refinement. Even the moments when you thought you strayed too far or gave up too soon, they brought you here to this awakening. You were never off course. You were always being led. Every tear, every silent prayer, every lonely night, it's been counted. And now you're stepping into the version of yourself that God already sees as whole, worthy, and ready. Here's your task. Don't cling to the past. Don't mourn the years you thought were wasted. Instead, use the greatest gift you've been given, your imagination. Start seeing the life you desire. Visualize the restoration, not just of things, but of your heart, your joy, your identity. The life you once thought was out of reach is actually being handed back to you piece by piece. Not by luck, by divine design. The more you believe it, the faster it flows to you. Faith isn't just believing something can happen. Faith is stepping into it, as if it already has. And when you align your vision with God's promise, you become unstoppable. Type "My time is now" in the comments if you're ready to walk in your restoration. Let the heavens hear you. Let your spirit know, and watch what unfolds. Close your eyes for a moment and feel this truth. You are not behind. You are not too late. And nothing is wasted in God's hands. The years you thought were lost, the painful ones, the quiet ones, the ones where you felt stuck, are actually the foundation of your restoration. Every delay, every heartbreak, every closed door, they were all part of the preparation. What looked like stillness was really strategy. Heaven has been arranging the right time, the right place, and the right version of you to receive everything you've ever prayed for. You see, restoration doesn't mean returning to what was. It means stepping into something greater. It's not about getting back the same things. It's about receiving what fits the person you've become. You've grown, you've matured, you've learned, and because of that, what God has for you now is better than what you lost. The enemy wanted you to believe your time had passed, that you missed your moment, but he was wrong. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. Think of all the nights you cried, the seasons you felt abandoned, the days you questioned your worth. What if those weren't signs of loss, but the breaking that made room for blessing? Sometimes God has to strip away what isn't meant for us before he reveals what is. And in that empty space, he starts to build something sacred, something lasting. Restoration isn't just about regaining, it's about becoming. Right now, there is a version of you being revealed that is stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. And God doesn't want you to just survive. He wants you to thrive. The thriving begins with trusting that you didn't waste time, trusting that you were never off track, trusting that even your mistakes were used for your growth. When you stop seeing your past as a failure and start seeing it as fuel, everything shifts. And what if I told you that your restoration starts the moment you believe it has already begun, that it's not waiting on an outside event, but on your inner shift? God works through your vision, your faith, and your imagination. The more you align with the truth that all things are working together for your good, the more you'll witness miracles in motion. Type, "I claim my restoration," in the comments if you know God is working in your favor. Declare it, feel it, and walk like it's already done. There's a divine truth that humbles even the strongest soul. You were never alone in your brokenness. God was there in the silence, in the confusion, in the moments you thought were meaningless. He was weaving every thread of your story into something beautiful. What looked like failure was actually formation. What felt like emptiness was sacred space being prepared for your next elevation. You've been walking through a divine classroom. Life has been teaching you, shaping you, and strengthening you, but now the lesson is shifting. This season, it's about stepping into your restoration. You're not here by accident. You're hearing this because your spirit is waking up to the fact that everything you've been through was not in vain. You may have been delayed, but never denied. You may have felt forgotten, but God never took his eyes off you. The biggest lie the enemy tells us is that we've wasted too much time, but God doesn't operate in our timeline. He works in divine timing, and divine timing doesn't run late. It runs deep, deep enough to reach places inside of you that human effort never could. Your healing didn't start the day everything got better. It started the moment you decided to believe again. The moment you chose to see yourself not as broken, but as being rebuilt. Understand this. Restoration doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. It begins quietly in the way you start to hope again, in the way you begin to forgive, in the way you catch yourself smiling for no reason. Those aren't small moments. They are holy markers, signs that God is breathing new life into what you thought was dead. This is what restoration looks like from the inside out. But now, your role is to protect your vision. You can't hold the future while clinging to old disappointments. If God has let something fall away, it's because something greater is coming. You are not the same person who once begged for things that didn't serve your purpose. You've evolved, you've expanded, and now God is restoring not just what was taken, but what was promised. Type, "Restore me completely," in the comments if you believe this is your season of divine recovery. You're not starting over. You're starting from wisdom. Let this settle in your heart today. God never wastes a season, not one. Not the painful ones, not the waiting ones, not even the ones that broke you down. Every chapter of your life is a setup for what's next. You're not living through random events. You're walking through a divine design tailor-made for your growth, your healing, and your victory. Think of your past like a field. For a while, it looked dry. Nothing seemed to grow. You questioned the point of it all, but what you couldn't see were the roots growing underground. The unseen work, the foundation being built when you thought nothing was happening. God was preparing the soil of your soul because when restoration comes, it comes fast, and it needs strong roots to hold the blessing. Many people think restoration is just about getting back what they lost. But God doesn't return things as they were. He multiplies. What the enemy stole, God restores sevenfold. What felt like years wasted will become years doubled in meaning, in impact, in peace. You're not behind. You're about to be launched forward with momentum only heaven can explain. But there's a choice you have to make, a shift in mindset. You must stop rehearsing what went wrong and start visualizing what is now rightfully yours. The pain, the detours, the dead ends, they were all preparing your spirit to hold what you once couldn't carry. This is your spiritual graduation, your upgrade, and your faith is the certificate. So what do you do now? You step into this day, into this moment, with a different energy, the energy of someone who knows restoration is active. You walk like the promise is already fulfilled. You talk like the door has already opened. You pray like the answer is already yes, because in the spiritual realm it already is. Type, "My restoration is multiplied," in the comments if you're claiming double for your trouble. It's not just coming back, it's coming back greater. Restoration begins when you stop punishing yourself for the past, when you stop playing the same scene over and over in your mind, wondering if things could have been different. Let this truth free you today. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by your growth. God is not holding your past against you. He's using it to push you forward. What you see as broken, he sees as the perfect place to build something new. And here's what many forget. Forgiveness is part of the restoration process. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. That weight you've been carrying, that guilt you've been hiding, God wants it gone. He wants to restore your peace, but he can't fill hands that are still holding shame. You have to release what no longer belongs to your story. Let go of the regret, the blame, the what-ifs. You are not the same person who made those decisions. You have evolved. You have learned. And now you are ready. There's a sacred power that comes when you believe your past doesn't cancel your future, that your restoration doesn't require perfection, only alignment. Alignment with God's grace. Alignment with your inner vision. Alignment with the belief that no matter what has happened, you are still worthy of everything good. The blessings that are coming your way are not based on your past performance. They're based on God's promise. Faith is what unlocks the flow. Not wishful thinking, but confident knowing. Knowing that the same God who guided you through the wilderness is the same one leading you into abundance. You didn't survive all that pain for nothing. You are being prepared to walk in spaces you once thought you weren't qualified for. But now you know you were always qualified. Because God called you and he's never changed his mind about you. When you choose to see yourself as whole, you begin to experience wholeness. When you speak like someone who is restored, you begin to attract restored relationships, restored finances, restored dreams. Everything begins with the inner shift. The moment you accept your restoration is the moment your life begins to reflect it. Type, "I forgive myself and receive restoration" in the comments. If you're ready to let go of shame and walk free, this is your turning point. Your soul knows it's time. There is something sacred about the moment you stop running, not from others, but from yourself, from your dreams, from your calling, and most of all, from the belief that it's still possible. Because deep down, even after everything you've been through, you still want more. You still want peace, joy, love, purpose. And that desire is not selfish. It's spiritual. It's evidence of restoration waking up inside of you. The truth is, your best days were never behind you. That's the lie life tried to sell you. But the truth, you've only just begun. What feels like a long delay was actually deep preparation. And now every seed that was sown in tears is about to bloom in joy. You've watered your future with faith. You've endured nights of confusion. But the sunrise is finally here. Restoration is not an event. It's a rhythm. And you're in sync with it now. It's time to stop replaying memories that drain you and start creating visions that revive you. There is no power in looking backward with regret, but there is limitless power in looking forward with imagination. Every time you visualize your life restored, you give it permission to take shape. God created you to be a co-creator, not a bystander in your own story. So speak what you desire, picture it, feel it. That's not fantasy, it's faith in action. And no matter how broken things seem right now, God's timing has not failed you. Restoration comes with divine precision. Not a second too early, not a moment too late. The things you thought were gone for good, relationships, dreams, strength, confidence, they are not only returning, they're returning better than before. Why? Because now you're ready to receive them from a higher level of awareness. The years that were silent are now singing. The places where you felt forgotten are now being visited by grace. You are not chasing restoration anymore. You are living in the flow of it. You are walking proof that God can take the most broken pieces and make something extraordinary. Type, "I am living in restoration" in the comments if you feel the shift happening in your spirit. What's coming next isn't random. It's revelation in motion. Let this truth echo in your heart. You have not missed your moment. Nothing is lost in God's hands. What the world called delay, heaven called development. What you called loss, God called launch. You were never forgotten. You were being refined. And now you are stepping into a season where everything makes sense. The pain, the waiting, the detours, the silence, all of it has led you here. You see, divine restoration is not about going back. It's about going forward with wholeness. It's about moving through life no longer wounded, but wiser, stronger, centered. When God restores, he doesn't just return what was taken. He upgrades what you thought was beyond repair. The years you thought were wasted, they've been transformed into wisdom, resilience, and unshakable purpose. This is not recovery. This is rebirth. And now the choice is yours. Will you keep walking as if you are still broken, or will you rise in the power of your restoration? You have been given the authority to decide what this next chapter looks like. Not by force, not by luck, but by faith. You have walked through enough darkness to finally appreciate the light. And now that you see it, you can never go back. This is your reminder. You are worthy of the life that's calling you, worthy of healed relationships, worthy of financial overflow, worthy of love, peace, influence, and impact. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are, a vessel of divine power, a child of God, and a living example of what it means to be restored. So today, walk boldly. Speak differently. See yourself as someone whose time has come. Restoration is not an idea anymore. It's your identity. Let it guide your thoughts. Let it lead your decisions. Let it rewrite the story you tell yourself every morning. The best part, you're not waiting on it anymore. It's already in motion. Type "My time has come" in the comments if you're stepping into your divine restoration. Don't just hope for it. Live like it's already yours. Because it is.